We might think of a great leader as an unwavering captain who guides us forward through challenging and complexity. Confident, unwavering leader armed with data and past experience have long been celebrated in business and politics alike. But sometimes, and certainly now, crisis comes along. With that is so new and so urgent that it upends everything that we thought we knew. One thing we know for sure right now is more upheavals are coming. And in this interconnected world, politicalizing a viral video, a distant tsunami, or a tiny virus can send shock waves around the world. Upheavals create fear, and in the midst of it, people crave security, which can incline leaders toward the usual tropes of strength, confidence, constancy, but it won't work. We need to flip the leadership playbook. First, this kind of leadership requires communicating with transparency, communicating often. So how can leaders lead when there is so little clarity, so little certainty? Whether you are a CEO, a prime minister, a middle manager, or even a head of school, during upheavals, leaders must ramp up the humility. When what you know is limited, pretending that you have the answers isn't helpful. Leaders must share what they know and admit what they don't know. Paradoxically, this honesty creates more psychological safety for people, not less. For example, when the pandemic devastated the airline industry virtually overnight, the CEO of Delta Airline, Edmondson, ramped up employees to communicate. Despite having so little clarity, facing truly dire results. At one point of 2020, losing $100 million a day. So it would have been far easier for Bastian to wait for more information before taking action. But effective leaders during upheavals don't hide in the shadow. In fact, as Bastian put it, it is far more important to share, to communicate when you don't have the answers than when you do. Second, act with urgency despite the incomplete information. Admitting that you don't have the answers doesn't mean avoiding action. While it's natural to want more information, fast action is often the only way to get more information. Worse, inaction leaves people feeling lost and unstable. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. When the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern laid out a full-level alert system very early in the COVID-19 crisis, she lacked information with which to set the level. Despite not having the answer, she did not wait to communicate about the threat with nation. At first, she set it at 2, only to change it to 4 2 days later as cases rose. That triggered a national lockdown, which no doubt saved countless lives. When the cases began to dissipate, she made subsequent decisions reflecting that new information. Third, leaders must hold their purpose and values steady. Even goals and situations change. Your values can be your guiding light when everything else is up in the air. If you care about the customer's experience, don't let out of that in times of upheavals. If a core value is health and safety, put that at the center of every decision you make. Doing that requires being very transparent about what your values are. In that way, your steadfastness shows not in your plan, but in your value. Prime Minister Ardern's clear purpose all along was protecting human life. Even immediate goal changes from preventing illness to preparing health systems, ultimately to bolstering the economy. Finally, give power away. Our instincts is to hold even more tightly to control in times of upheaval, but it backfires. So one of the most effective ways to show leadership is, if counterintuitive, to share power with those around you. Doing that requires asking for help, being clear that you can't do it alone. And that also provokes innovations while giving people a sense of meaning. Nothing is worse in a crisis than feeling of there is nothing I can do to help. We follow this new kind of leaders because we have confidence not in their map but in their compass. We believe that they have chosen the right direction given the current information, and they will keep updating. Most of all, we trust them. We want to help them in finding and refining path forward.